I was gonna vlog a lot today, and I didn't because everything just happened a lot. We woke up at like 7.
Because of the sun.
Yeah, there's like no blinds here, and it's just a room of windows. So we naturally woke up at like 7, and we like were totally okay with that. And then we got coffee, just got ready and freaked out internally the whole time. And then we went down to State Street and
got our tickets,
which was like really weird and confusing because we went there and there was like, we could see Martin and Cornelia and like everyone else like setting up
all the
merch.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, oh my god. But then there was no one at the box office, and they just had like this little post-it note that was like, be back soon. And I was like, So we just awkwardly hung out, and there was 2 other girls there, and they're like, yeah, we're waiting for VIP. And I'm like, it's noon.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to be there by 4:15. So that seemed a bit excessive, but we finally got our tickets, and then we went over to Potbelly, because it was just across the street, and we had lunch, and then we went back over to the theater. No, we didn't.
We went shopping.
We went shopping.
Shopping.
Yeah, we...
Shopping with no money.
Yeah, we popped into Walgreens because we wanted to buy gum, and then it started raining, so we awkwardly hung out at the Walgreens for like half an hour.
At least.
Yeah, and then it stopped, and we went to like Forever 21, just poked around to kill time, and then we came back, and it was so humid, so we sat inside the lobby, but even though we weren't really supposed to because there was like signs everywhere like, just wait by the south entrance or whatever, and so we hung out because it was air conditioned. And then we finally were like, okay, at 3:30 we'll go outside and wait in line, and literally we were there for no longer than like a minute, and it started pouring down rain.
Pouring down rain. And you had just a small, tiny umbrella.
Yeah, I had this stupid little thing from Target that like fits. It's like this, it's little, but.
So we were like on top of each other trying to fit underneath.
We're like pressed against the wall and like
and
crying.
Everyone, there were people there without any umbrellas, and half of them were just like accepting it. They're like,
this is fine.
This is how I'm gonna meet my 2 favorite people.
Yeah, and then there was these 2 girls in line next to us who we hung out with the whole time.
We know.
No, they're.
Yeah, we never really caught their names. But you're great.
We just kept like awkwardly talking to you, so if you guys end up seeing this magically somehow, hey.
Hi, it was fun.
I hope you
enjoyed freaking out with you.
Yeah, hope you made it safe back home to Indiana. But anyway, so then one of their dads, I guess, brought them umbrellas. And
so that was handy.
Yeah, it was like,
good job,
dead
Dad.
points. And he was like, okay, happy birthday, see you later, and like left. And I was like, nice. But I didn't feel as old as I thought I would.
No.
For like the whole, like there were some people where I was like, okay, yeah, you're definitely like 15.
At least for VIP. There were a lot of...
For like VIP, I was hanging around, and then like when we were sitting in the room, there were a couple where I was like, yeah, you are a child. But then I felt
they
like...
had their parents.
Yeah,
stuff.
Most of them were like late high school. But then we get into the actual theater, and there was like an 8-year-old sitting behind Tori. Like, I don't know what that was. But anyway, so we finally get inside, and we're all wet and upset. Yeah, security check, which was like not as intense as I thought it would be. Because like I'd heard stories about they had to check people like 3 times, but they just whatever. And then we went in and we signed the guest book, and I was like, hey, you guys are great, please close caption your videos.
And I literally just like screamed it up in all caps, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm here, I'm shaking, I am craft, like
I am craft.
And I was like, no, honestly, you guys are great, I love you so much, keep being you know, it was great.
Yeah. So. And then we had little like those stupid little paper wristband things, and they were numbered, and so then we thought that was going to be our order for meeting them. So we were 23 and 24, and we're like, okay, awesome. Pretty decent. And then this British lady comes out and was like, okay, like here are the rules, don't do this, whatever. And then
it was basically free for all. Like,
yeah,
you could go up whenever you wanted.
It was weird because she was like only 2 people at a time, and then she left, and literally everyone got out and like mobbed, and we're like,
well, first. You're missing things.
You're
missing things. So we knew where they were going to be coming out of, and so like whenever someone would walk by, everyone would like turn, and then like it was usually someone from staff. Yeah, and they're like, it's not them, you know. It's just
so then
me.
we like forgot about it because they were supposed to start at 4:45, and so it's like getting like almost 5 o'clock, and I like forgot what time it was basically, and I was like, oh, we've got plenty of time, and we're all just hanging out, talking, and all of a sudden we hear Dan, hey guys,
hi, like, everybody,
out of nowhere, and we all screeched.
Everyone turned and screamed.
And that's when I like
loved it. Oh my!
I like had an internal meltdown, and because the whole time I was like, I'm gonna keep my cool. I'm not gonna be one of those people who's gonna scream. But then seeing them in the flesh
and hearing them,
I just like, oh. But then so they walked in and they took a selfie with the entire room. And then he was like, you guys look great. And we're like, yeah, okay. And then they went behind the little screen thing, and we could like see their silhouettes. And so we could like watch people hug them, and it was so cute. It was adorable. And so then we finally get in line, and we're freaking out, and we're with those two girls, and we're all freaking out. And then Tori and I were like, okay, so we'll try and like take pictures of each other.
Sneaky, sneaky.
So then Tori goes first, and I'm like taking pictures of her, and then the British lady was like, you can't do that, but I'll let it slide. And I'm like, okay.
And I couldn't, because there was the guy who would cut off your wristband and give you the tote bag, and he didn't allow anyone to take pictures from that end, so I couldn't do anything about it.
Which I don't understand, but
yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, so
whatever.
I went first, and then, so you know, I'm like, I stand there, and I just stood there just to like take them in, and then just breathe. You know, and Dan opens his arm, he's like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. And I like hug him, and he's such a light hugger, but I'm like, nope, and I like squeeze him. And then I go over to Phil, and he's just, he's such a good hugger, and he's so cute. And they just smell fresh, and it's great. And then what happened next? Oh yeah, then I was holding my book, and Dan was like, oh, you know, do you want me to sign this for you? And I looked down, and I'm like, well, I mean, sure, if you must. And so then they laughed. And then what was it? Oh, then I was telling them about my skirt, and I was like, hey, look at my skirt pattern. I'm like, because it's Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. And Dan was like, yeah, I noticed that. And I was like, and I was like, I made it. They're both like, you did? Like, yeah. They're like, you are so talented. And I'm like, thanks. So then Dan said, you know, would you like me to take the selfie since I'm tall and have long arms, you know? And I'm like, sure. So he goes to take the selfie, and I'm like, wait. And I'm like, can I do the thing? And I just go like this, and he goes, you want to squish? And I'm like, I want to squish. And so they both lean in, and I smile, and I squish their little faces. Ugh, so squishy. Oh, and then, you know, Dan snaps a few pictures. One of them was like, terrible. He's the only one in focus. If you follow me on Twitter, TStick8, you'll see this picture. And it's so funny because it just looks like it's on purpose, that Dan is the only one in focus. And I'm still like in some derp mode, and Phil is just kind of trying to get situated as well. And then the next few, I got a good one, but the next few were just like me full on cheesing, and I can't even help it, because it's like you can't even comprehend. You can't think of anything when you're with them. And so then after they take the picture, then I look at it and I tell them, I was like, I don't know if I should punch or hug you for getting me into anime. And they both go, oh. And Dan goes, that's definitely a punch. And I'm like, well, I'll let it slide, you know. And so then they are like, enjoy the show. And I'm like, okay.
What did their faces feel like?
They're just squishy and soft, because they don't have flawless skin.
Nice.
I look like a crab.
So then I go up, and I like just went into it, and I was like not emotionally prepared. I like rounded the corner, and then I was confronted by Dan, and he was like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, hi. And so I hug him, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I say hi to Phil, and he says hi, and I was like, this is incredible. And so then Dan goes into super posh mode, and was like, would you like me to sign your book? And I was like, you are so British, so incredibly British. And so then I hand him the book, and I'm like telling them about how I was like, yeah, well, I got the signed copy, because never in a million years did I think I'd ever be able to meet you guys. So then I wrote on each side, I was like, what do you guys think about in the shower? And so Dan wrote how he thinks, should he get a dog? And then Phil...
I say yes.
Yes.
Everyone says yes.
And Phil wonders how they make pretzels. And I'm like, I mean, you know...
And he drew little
Yeah, he drew horns on himself or cat ears. I don't know what they were supposed to be.
Triangles.
And then he did a little Phil smiley face in the corner. I'm like, you're adorable. And then Dan was like, would you like me to take the picture? Because I'm so tall. And I'm like, I can't get over how British you are. And like, so I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And so I handed my phone, but I was like, whoa, wait, I forgot. And he like looks at me and I was like, so I'm hard of hearing and I'm learning sign language. And so I want to do the thing where it's the I love you. And he was like, oh, okay. And he's like watching me and like listening so intently. And I was like, this is amazing. And so then Phil like rubs it around me and he was like, how do you do it? I want to make sure I'm doing it right. And I'm like, oh my God. And so we take the picture and Phil was like, or Dan, I keep doing I'm so out of it. But Dan was like, oh, what a great idea for a picture. And I'm like, and then I start to walk away and I was like, oh wait, did you notice my thing? It's Star Wars. And they're like, yeah, that's really cool. And I was like, oh my God. And then they were like, enjoy the show. And I was like, bye.
So we were both like, because I was waiting for it and I'm just like looking at her like, so we go up and join our friends and we're all like, and we're going through our pictures and we're all like, I look awful, but oh well. And Sarah's is the only one that looks on point and amazing. And I don't know how, like, I think Dan had more time to like focus it since maybe he was focusing on something else.
I don't know. There were a couple that weren't great. Right. But I did get the one that
you did. A+.
But, my God.
Yeah, so then we hung out there in the room while everyone else went through, and then they left, you know, they said bye and everyone was like
and we all stood up and like ran over and we're like, bye.
And then yeah, so we got our tote bags
and then we thought that we were gonna have like access to merch and stuff early, but then we didn't. The lady was like, oh, I don't know if it's open, and then she came back, she's like, yeah, no, you guys have to leave. And so it was like 6 o'clock at that point. And so then the doors open at 6:30, so we stood awkwardly outside.
But they made us go out the door we came, so like the side door.
Yeah.
And so we got behind all of the normal tickets people, like who didn't have VIP. So they had first run at merch. So I mean, whatever. I get it.
Whatever.
But the merch line was insane. Like there was no possible way that you were gonna get what you wanted in the size that you need.
And then I wasn't really sure, like, we couldn't see anywhere for, like, Crafty Corner, Internet Support Group, Weird Kid thing, like...
7-second challenge.
Yeah, like, I didn't see any of that anywhere. And so we were just kind of like, okay, at this point, like, what are the chances that they'd actually pick ours anyway? Like, whatever.
I think that the staff went around and did, like, little select groups. Yeah. Because they came in to the VIP room and did... internet support group questions. Mm-hmm. So they must have been going around and doing...
I don't know, because there was one girl who did Crafty Corner and then support group.
That's right, she was in the VIP.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? But so we sit down and we're like, oh my God! And the theater is incredible and the set was incredible.
It's amazing. No, we're not... Can't spoil anything because...
We're not those people.
We're not going to do that. But oh my gosh.
Set was incredible. I had no idea what I was expecting, but then everything was just so well done. Like some of the things they used, I was like, what is the like budget for this? This is incredible.
Like the lighting, there was always like fog, like it was...
Yeah, and like all the props they used were incredible. But yeah.
And we were pretty close. I mean, we were like,
fifth row. Yeah.
It was nice. I mean, it wasn't like too close. But we could see it. It was a good...
The only issue was that they had taken out the orchestra, so then they added 4 rows of just like chairs that they pulled out of nowhere. And so then the actual theater chairs were lower than those chairs. So
the people in front of us were like taller, so it was kind of annoying. Yeah. I tried to like sit on my foot to like get myself up because there was one girl right in front of me that was just like, she was pretty tall, and so I was like, I can't see.
Yeah, no, there was only like a couple times where I was really annoyed by it, but I was like leaning into Tori. But like the whole time we're like holding arms, literally like, oh my God. We're like smacking each other.
The music is intense, and it like shakes the whole theater at times. You're just like,
and then just everything, and like Phil was such a small bean, and I just wanted to squish him.
I told Sarah it was so annoying that I wasn't able to go back and watch each of their expressions like I do in their videos. Mm-hmm. You know, you're able to go through and catch things because you watch it 5 times. But with the show, you were trying to like take in everything.
They also stood on like opposite sides of the stage. Like Dan would be like way far left, and then Phil was way far right. And so you're like, but
it was so amazing.
It was like, I don't even
Very
know what
loud.
I was expecting, but it was so much better. And I was really afraid that people in the audience were going to be really annoying.
Yeah.
But like
shouting inappropriate stuff.
I mean, there was like screaming, but like we were part of that, so. But like
but not inappropriate screaming.
It would end really quickly, and like we could always hear their lines. Like I think there might have been like one line that I didn't catch in the entire show, which I was really afraid of. So that was great.
Right.
But the entire show was incredible. My face still hurts from smiling.
I was making noises that I did not know were even possible. Sorry. But no, I'm not kidding. We were literally sitting, our arms were just linked. Like, I guess you can redo it this way. So there was the armrest, and we were just like,
and I was like smacking her.
I'm surprised that I don't have red marks on my arms from her smacking me.
But like the final thing, I was like squeezing one of your fingers really tightly.
My thumb.
I was like,
oh, it was great. I mean, I needed it too because I just needed something to like.
Yeah. And then there was like a girl next to Tori who I think might have been by herself, and she was just like, whatever,
hanging out.
And I'm like, what?
Like the whole lead up when they're like playing the playlist and stuff, when everyone is singing and we're singing.
Yeah.
Like, we're, you know, and she was just like texting on her phone, and I'm like.
And then I was sitting next to some mom, and I was like, all right. And they started playing Toxic, and she was like jamming or whatever, and her like 14-year-old daughter was like, you don't understand. And I was like, oh my God.
I mean, it's true.
But then I was like, whatever, I'm gonna jam, I don't care. But
they're so strict. I mean, I knew they're gonna be strict about cameras and phones and stuff, but there were literally security guards up in the VIP
every
section.
row, which like, I thought was odd.
Just, I mean, it'd be hard as a person who hasn't seen the show. Like, they couldn't watch it. They were watching the audience doing it. I was like, that'd be difficult. But yeah, they were very strict about it.
Yeah,
which
but I mean,
expected. And I totally get it, and I respect it. And
100%.
I mean, we all know that Dan has his spoilers video that he hates it, so. And I'm with that.
Yeah. But yeah. So then we stood outside the theater for like an hour because we didn't want to leave.
We literally went through the whole entire show and typed out every single thing that happened on our notes on our phones.
Yeah.
And we like sit there, and then we're like getting towards, you know, at this certain part, then we're all of a sudden they're like, wait,
we forgot about this thing.
Yeah. And then we're like, oh. That's when it ended.
And then that's when it ended, and we all cried. Oh my God.
There were tears.
So incredible. But of course, the song that played as we're all walking out of the theater was All Star.
Which I will never think of that song the same again.
I mean, but
I mean, it's Dan, so what do you expect?
The whole thing was incredible. And then when we were standing outside, like, trying to type up notes and whatever, like, we kept getting bombarded by people like, hi, do you have money for food? And we're like, no, sorry. But then this one guy comes up to us, and I was kind of ignoring him because I was like, this was like the 6th guy to come talk to us, and I was not having it. And so I was gonna pretend like I didn't hear him. Yes. And then he like said something about like, can you stop texting? And I was like, oh,
or like, you guys are texting a lot or something.
Yeah.
Like.
And I was like, yeah, because we don't want to talk to you. But then he was like, what is Tatinof? And I'm like,
we're both like, okay. And so I basically said, I was like, it's these two guys that put on a comedy show. Easiest way to explain it without much detail, and because you're not gonna get it.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to say to him, and I just wanted him and his cigarette to leave.
Oh,
so.
I know. And yeah, he was like, I just saw so many people walking around with this Tatinof stuff on, you know. He was like, so I was just wondering what it was, and I, you know, thought I might go check it out. And I'm like, there's no tickets left, bud.
Bye!
You're not gonna be able to check it out.
Also, you would be so confused.
He was like 40s.
Yeah. And we're like, okay, bye.
I mean, no judging. If you're 40 and you like it, great. But
I mean, the mom I was sitting next to was very into it. So.
And yes, there is Hobbit hair.
So much Hobbit hair.
So much Hobbit hair.
And Phil's hair was just magically perfect the whole time.
The whole time.
And he was just...
It was just funny because, like, just throughout the show, it was just... It would get curlier and curlier. And every time Sarah and I were like...
Hobbit hair! Hobbit hair! Oh, it was incredible. Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
When we were standing in line to meet them, we kept like seeing like an elbow or something pop out, and I was like, I keep seeing Dan's butt, and it's making me very happy. He wore 3 outfits today because he tweeted a picture where he was in this like sweatshirt, and then we met him and he was in a t-shirt, and then he had his like.
He was in what was it?
Some anime.
Oh yeah, it was an anime. Oh, yeah, because when I was telling them about anime, and he was like, yeah, that's definitely a punch. He's like, look at my shirt. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, but so then he was wearing that, and then he had his Eclipse shirt, which I guess is his costume.
Yeah, I think they wear the same outfit.
Because I didn't really, I like wondered that. Like, I knew he wore the same jeans every day because he owns 1 pair of jeans, but like I thought that they had different outfits, but I guess not.
He owns 2. He was a blackberry and the dark jeans.
But so. Yeah.
What else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, because I think it's the same time, same costume every time. Because like pictures and stuff, videos during it, they're wearing the same outfit. So I think they have to be in that same outfit for every show.
I just like didn't really realize it, and I was like, well, you're in 3 outfits today, bud.
Which is great.
But I tweeted my picture, and it's up to like 300 likes and like 80 retweets.
Which is insane.
And everyone's like, oh my god, this is adorable. I'm like, oh my god, you guys.
I mean, you're reaching a wider audience.
Yeah, because I also did hashtag deaf awareness, so like. But, Alright, well, I don't know what else to say. We're just gonna cry ourselves to sleep. My face still hurts.
Do I even dare to watch any Dannerville videos?
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing when they rounded the corner, because like I knew it was gonna be kind of weird seeing them, because like when I met like Marley Matlin or Giancarlo, like it was really weird at first, but then like talking to them was like whatever, but then just I don't know, it was like, so
their accent
weird.
Is so thick. Like people say they sound different, but I think it's just, I mean.
It was weird though, because like during the show they sounded totally like they do in their videos.
Right, they do.
But like talking to them was so.
I mean, they were strange. Right there.
Yeah.
And Phil didn't really say a whole lot.
Yeah, Phil was very quiet.
Which I think it's part of him like just letting Dan take it because he knows how Dan is with being awkward and meeting new people, and so he just. I mean, he like agreed and made comments and also said. Enjoy the show, thanks.
He was
for
very
coming.
giggly.
Yeah. I mean, like in my picture when I'm squishing his face, he's doing this little, smile. I'm just
he's
like,
so cute. Oh. But yeah. So,
no words. Well, there were many words, but now there's no words.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. Tomorrow we're just gonna shop and then cry on the train ride home.
Accurate.
So you might see more of us, you might not.
It's a mystery. You'll have to find out.
Yeah.